The first step is to establish that something is possible, then probability will occur. It's okay to have your eggs in one basket as long as you control what happens to that basket. My biggest mistake is probably weighing too much on someone's talent and not someone's personality. I think it matters whether someone has a good heart. When Henry Ford made cheap, reliable cars, people said, "Nah, what's wrong with a horse?" That was a huge bet he made, and it worked. I say something, and then it usually happens. Maybe not on schedule, but it usually happens. I wouldn't say I have a lack of fear. In fact, I'd like my fear emotion to be less because it's very distracting and fries my nervous system. I don't spend my time pontificating about high-concept things, I spend my time solving engineering and manufacturing problems. Some people don't like change, but you need to embrace change if the alternative is disaster. People should pursue what they're passionate about. That will make them happier than pretty much anything else. As much as possible, avoid hiring MBAs. MBA programs don't teach people how to create companies. People work better when they know what the goal is and why. It is important that people look forward to coming to work in the morning and enjoy working. It's very important to like the people you work with, otherwise life, and your job is gonna be quite miserable. Persistence is very important. You should not give up unless you are forced to give up. I don't create companies for the sake of creating companies, but to get things done. If you're trying to create a company, it's like baking a cake. You have to have all the ingredients in the right proportion. You have to say, well, why did it succeed where others did not? There's a tremendous bias against taking risks. Everyone is trying to optimize their ass covering. Starting and growing a business is as much about the innovation, drive, and determination of the people behind it as the product they sell. I think we have a duty to maintain the light of consciousness to make sure it continues into the future. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. Being an entrepreneur is like eating glass and staring into the abyss of death. Don't delude yourself into thinking something's working when it's not, or you're gonna get fixated on a bad solution. We have a strict no assholes policy at SpaceX. Really pay attention to negative feedback and solicit it, particularly from friends. Hardly anyone does that, and it's incredibly helpful. Don't delude yourself into thinking something's working when it's not, or you're gonna get fixated on a bad solution. I don't think it's a good idea to plan to sell a company. You shouldn't do things differently just because they're different. They need to be better. It's okay to have your eggs in one basket as long as you control what happens to that basket. The first step is to establish that something is possible, then probability will occur. What makes innovative thinking happen? I think it's really a mindset. You have to decide. When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. My biggest mistake is probably weighing too much on someone's talent and not someone's personality. I think it matters whether someone has a good heart.